Okay, so when I did the video on the pony jack, I think I said something along the lines of wishing that I could get one of these white owls, and I just kind of assumed I wasn't going to be able to get one. Um, but I happened to be on the Great Eastern Cutlery group on Facebook at the right time, and somebody posted a link to Frank's, and he still had them in stock. So I got one from Frank's Classic Knives. Um, from what I understand, there were some satin versions. I didn't realize there was any difference between them or whatever. So I ended up getting a polished one. I think I would have probably preferred the satin, um, just because high polish really isn't my thing when it comes to pocket knives. Uh, but I really like the shield on this, the white owl shield. I like the quote unquote jigging, which isn't really jigging. It's just, some straight lines cut in the bone. But I think it looks good. I like the color and everything. Kind of like a light brown and white color, kind of like a cow. Yeah, that's probably why it's called cowhide bone. Like I said, I like the shield that it says white owl. And you got your clip blade here. High polish Northfield unexcelled, because this is a Northfield. And then on the other side, we got this really cool Howard the Owl etch here, which I thought was really neat. It's almost gonna kind of suck once I start getting use on this blade and the etches start to disappear, because I really like that cool owl etch. I think it's neat. But yeah, so main clip blade. And then on the opposite side, we got pen blade again. I prefer this over the pony jack. It's quite a bit thinner because it only has one back spring. And I like the blades being on opposite ends of the knife for a knife this size. So I do like this more than the pony jack, like I thought I would. Of course, this knife is a little bit more fancy because it's a Northfield, but if they would have done this in to the Ute trim, I would have also wanted it, just because of the way the knife is set up compared to the pony jack. Mine's made really well. There was no blade play on this knife. I think it's easier to not have blade play when you're only dealing with one back spring as opposed to two, and you're trying to get the action on both blades to be nice and not have blade play at the same time. It can get kind of complicated, I think, but with single blade knives, it's quite a bit easier. I think there is a very slight amount of blade rub. Yeah, you can see there on the clip blade. It does just very slightly rub the pen blade, at least a little bit, when you're opening it. Not a big deal to me on knives that have two blades sharing a back spring. I kind of expect that, because it's hard. It's a real art form to fit blades so that they don't rub. And then usually when you're opening them, they do move a little bit. So they'll rub against each other when you're opening them a lot of the times. Especially if you're not super careful, which I don't tend to be, because, I just throw pocket knives in my pockets and carry them and use them to cut things and stuff. If I was a hardcore collector, I might, be really careful opening blades and stuff, trying to keep them from rubbing. I know in some Stockmans, people will actually open one blade before another blade, before the blade they actually want to use, because they're trying to keep the blades from rubbing. I don't care about it that much. But yeah, blade rub's not a big deal to me. I like this knife quite a bit more than my pony jack. The weird thing is, since it's only got one back spring and the blades are on opposite ends, it kind of almost feels like a slightly larger knife than the pony jack, even though they're the same frame, same size and everything. But for whatever reason, it just feels like a slightly larger, more usable knife. But I do like it. The one thing is, on this bone cover on this side, there is a divot in the bone there, which some people might see as a imperfection. I actually kind of like it because it distinguishes this knife from everybody else's knife. So I kind of like that. There's no cracks or anything. What is my phone doing? Is This is why I don't like high polished knives. My phone has issues. Stop it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Doesn't know what to focus on. Okay. But yeah, you can see that divot there. There's no cracks or anything, so it's not a big deal to me. Um, but yeah, I kind of just figured I would, make a video on this. This is probably going to go up next week, because next week, the week after next, I don't know. It'll go up after Christmas. That's how I'll say this, but today's the 17th. I'm just filming this ahead of time because I had some time, and I'm kind of planning on putting this in my pocket tonight, so I wanted to get a video on it before it starts to get all scratched up and this high polish isn't so highly polished anymore. But anyway, that's the 68 White Owl in the cowhide jig bone, and I like it quite a lot. Anyway, it's going to be it for this video, and I hope you guys have a good day.